Hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that. Yeah, like as soon as I turned on or hit go live and like connected and everything looked like it was good to go, big old error message pop up since Streamlabs had a failure and must restart. So yeah, still something's up with it because it's not showing me like the chat or anything else like that, uh, or even my stream preview. So I can't even see. Like I know I'm on my start screen. I just don't know. Excuse me, what's going on beyond that. So I'm in my stream manager on Twitch right now mostly. So Streamlabs has janky moments. It does. It absolutely does. Let me turn down the music a smidge. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's hilarious how quickly the freaking porn bots on Twitch will like your tweets. Or the art bots will like your tweets on anything. So I hope everyone had a good day today. I'm on a little bit later than what I normally am, but either a little bit later, a little bit earlier. I actually don't remember. But now today we're gonna try to go a little bit longer with stream than I normally do, just because I've been trying to build myself up to consistently doing 5 hours or so. I actually had a good conversation with, funny enough, my therapist about this today, and like she's like, you know, maybe consider streaming a little later. That way, you kind of open yourself up to more raids. And like, wait, my therapist knows the Twitch culture. That's really, really funny. So that was a nice little thing that I learned about my therapist today, that she kind of understands the Twitch culture, the Twitch aspects and things like that. Which is really, really funny to me. So alright, since I cannot get this thing to show me my stream preview, I'll just, fuck it, we're gonna wing it. So we're gonna start off by just doing yeah, my therapist was programming and doing things to help my social anxiety. No, mine is definitely like amazing. I've been with her almost 2 years now, and just like this, the stuff that she's done for me has been absolutely stellar, frankly. So it's like one of the best things that I have in terms of like stuff, and like her price just lowered from without insurance, because I'm currently without insurance. Her price just lowered from like $130 a month or a session to like $80 a session, and she said that's quote because of changes like inside the company that she like umbrella works under. So I can now go back to going every week, which is good. So that's gonna be nice until I can find either work or, you know, basically income stability. It's more likely going to be an actual professional job, but if it turns into that this, I make enough to sustain off of this, which is a wild thing to think about, but it is, I'm never going to not discount it. But this is an interesting area. I feel like this is a quest that I am missing somewhere. Enslaved elementals. There you go. So today's plan, we're just gonna kind of vibe for the most part. Like if I get pulled into doing keys or anything like that, I'm gonna be happy to do that, but it is not the intention to like turn this into a key stream, and most likely what'll happen is I'll end up tanking them. But I want to work on playing more Devour, frankly, just so I can continue to get a feel for it. Work stealing your class. I have declared that I'm playing Demon Hunter even like back in season 3. I have long said that I'll be playing this class before, I think, well, maybe not before Devour was announced, but it was definitely around that time when we barely knew anything about it other than that it was an intellect ranged class for some reason at that point. None of us understood. And like, you know, if I decide, like, if my work situation makes it so that I can't raid full-time with my current guild, then I'm gonna have, obviously I need to find a new one. I'm a little worried that I won't find one as a Demon Hunter, and I'll have a better chance at potentially finding one as an Evoker. Which is why I'm kind of also prepping Evoker, but because, you know, everyone and their mother's gonna want to play, you know, have a Demon Hunter that's playing Devour or whatever. So just kind of protecting myself in the event that I need to go on the guild hunt or anything like that. So I mean, eventually going on the guild hunt is going to happen, because like I've kind of talked about this before, but for those that are kind of newer to hanging out with me, my guild currently, we do anywhere between 3 to 5 bosses in Mythic for the most part. And we're, you know, we have a lot of the struggles that like mid-Mythic guilds do or early Mythic guilds do, which is like maintaining a roster boss, you know, dealing with things like people not, you know, there are some people that put in like a lot of effort into making things successful, and then you have the folks that are like, they raid log, and so they're always behind an item level because they don't ever get on and do things that do XYZ. There's all sorts of like stuff that just comes out of that comes with being part of a guild that, you know, does what mine does. So let's grab chest. But as I've gotten further into things, and as I've done things like raid leading and things of that nature, I've come to learn that like I want to do like push for a CE, just to get it once. Mirror Vice. I think I need mirror. I do. So I want to get CE at least once, and if I, you know, love the atmosphere and stuff like that, I'll stick around and do it again. I also know that just like, you know, my guild is not ever really going to be in that position to do that. So ooh, holy waves, Batman. So if I get to that point where I'm like, hey, this is something that I want to pursue, I know I'm gonna have to find a new guild to do it. But I'm also a little afraid right now of trying to do that as a Demon Hunter, just because like with the new class, everyone's gonna want to be playing it. The other concern that I have is that like I don't particularly enjoy raid healing, and people are gonna want me to be a raid healer, and that's like just not the case. Like I'm not, I mean, I'll do it, but I'm not CE level raid healer, frankly. Of course it's leather. Fuck off with that. God. And so, like, I have to kind of, like, figure out what that's going to look like, where if I can find someone that'll let me... Not yet. I mean, I could do it. Like, I'm sure with enough practice. The problem is that it's just, like, it's not the thing that I enjoy in Raid. Like, I like DPSing Raid. I'll tank and heal keys all day. I like multi-rolling in keys, but in Raid, I prefer to be a damage dealer. Simply because of just, like... There's a level of push to being a DPS in there that I really enjoy. And, like, obviously we'll have to see how things change in Midnight with some of the new things that they're doing, the way they've designed things and such. But, like, it really sucked as a raid healer, especially a Prez raid healer this expansion, to simply, like, not do anything until... Alright, I don't need it, but I'm going to go get it because I want the crests. Waiting on the rest of your team to learn shit. In some ways, yes. But the other thing is with such strict, like, assignment of cooldowns and stuff like that, like, a lot of the skill factor in healing, like, kind of feels like it's baked into how well the rest of your team is. Like, if you have a good team, then I can, you know, you're not going to necessarily, like, parse super well. Particularly, like, if I'm looking late CE, we're going to be well geared. We'll have raid renown and stuff like that. You know, one of the things that I always value in both my... God damn it. One of the things that I value in both my professional life and in my creative life is having the agency to do things the way that I see fit. You know, it's why I love streaming and creating content. It's because I can kind of do this however the fuck I want, you know. Now I'm sure there's like a pattern that I would need to take if I wanted to try and, like, make this full time, do, you know, not necessarily make like Asmongold money, but even making, you know, a lot of VTubers that are making enough money just off of subs and gifted subs and shit like that to where they could do that a month and then they make all their extra money through YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. Like, do all of that. Like, I'm sure there's a pattern of what I can do to make that happen, but, like, I also don't think that really fits me. And so I'm trying to kind of, like, carve my own path on how I want to do content creation. And it, you know, there's a good chance that it probably puts a ceiling on me overall, but, like, I'm creatively fulfilled doing it this way. Like, I love that I have that freedom to kind of pick and choose how I'm going to do this. And the only person that can basically tell me no is me. Now, that doesn't mean I won't, like, not take advice. Like, obviously, there are streamers that are much more successful than me that are streaming WoW right now. And, you know, and the ways that people go about doing it are different. Like, you have, you know, folks like Dratnos and Tettles and Jack and Dorky and Growl and Max who all cater to, like, the hardcore min-maxi style type people that want to do high-end content or anything like that. But there are other successful streamers, Talius and Evatel, for example. They kind of cater to a much more casual audience and try to look at the game in a way that's different from the min-max side. You have, like, Kira Elania, who's a cosplayer and brings the lore of the characters and the look of the characters to life and has a popular opportunity to do that. You have your lore nerds, Novel, Queen Ashura, Porter Gage, that really dig into the lore and know a lot about that. So, like, it's one of the cool things about WoW is that there's a bunch of ways to kind of draw a successful following. The one area that really doesn't, though, unfortunately, is if you're, like, mid-level content. So if you're not a Hall of Fame raider or, you know, do keys at, you know, the top 2% level or something like that, then you struggle to find an audience. Because what happens is that if I'm, like, a late CE raider and I'm doing, like, 15s, you can click on any other streamer almost in the WoW category, and you can find someone like Tettles who is going to be title pushing. You're going to find Dorky who is title capable. Or you can go to a liquid streamer or a Pop Tart corn dog streamer or an instant dollar streamer and see more world first level style rating. And so you really struggle to find that like niche. I mean, not even a +8 key, like, I mean, for some people that's like their highest keys ever. I've experienced that a lot through the dojo, the dungeon dojo, where like people are getting like +8s and this is the highest key they've ever done. But at the same time, like for me, like a +8 key is like, that's brain dead content for me, especially once I get to a point where like even when I'm timing +10s, +8s become like the warm-up. And so it's a struggle to find like an audience that wants to watch that stuff. And so it's just one of those situations where it's like, that's kind of the struggle that I find myself in with WoW, which is why I'm trying to add other stuff, and play other games that I just find fun. Because, and you know, the thing that's really going to help potentially draw people in, hopefully, is some personality. And I mean, I talk a lot. I go on streams of consciousness, but I also have moments where I'm like trying to lock in and play the game. Like you saw when I was doing something simple like dojo raid, like when the fight was going on, I mean, that's normal. Like, it's literally nothing content for me. I'm, you know, I do heroic as a chore, not as a progression style thing for me. Like mythic raid is like, it's fun, but like even then I still find myself like locking in. And right now maybe it's because like I'm trying to learn classes and specs and play these things, and you know, just ensure that like everyone else is having their time to be, you know, to have their success and stuff like that. And if I'm just sitting here yapping and not moving out of any mechanics because I don't care or whatever, then you know, that makes me feel bad. But you'll see, like, if you go back to some of my older streams when I was streaming keys or streaming mythic raid, and obviously when I stream my own guild's raid, I'm the raid leader, so like I know that comes with a little bit of a different expectation, but some people don't care. I've had people literally tell me like, why don't you talk to your chat in the middle of the fight? I'm like, do you see what I'm doing? I'm literally raid leading. Like, talking to chat in the middle of the fight is like disrespectful to my raid team. If they need me to make these calls and be the human bigwigs or the human DBM or now the human boss timers, then that's what I'm gonna do, because I want this group to succeed, you know. And I've even kind of thought about it, like I you know, when I streamed, you know, back when I was streaming progression keys with like Led and Harley and them, like I noticed that I wouldn't talk a lot. Like I went back and found an old VOD on my YouTube channel where like I said, like during the key I said almost no words outside of like what I was calling them. Ooh, good. New rare. And that's because like I just get locked in and want to be successful, and I don't have the capacity to like talk and do that stuff at the same time. Like I know there are streamers that are like yapping with chat the whole time and they're just pushing their buttons and they're doing well. It's not like they're doing poorly. Like they're hitting all the, you know, the damage checks, and they're surviving and they're using their defenses in the right place, and you have people that just do that. And some of that for me might be just because I am like, I'm always switching classes in a way now. Like ever since the War Within has started up, like I've played a different spec almost every single tier, and so I don't have like this just natural muscle memory to sit there and talk while I'm doing it. You know, maybe DH Evoker kind of becomes like the classes that I start to really accomplish that on, because and the way that the classes are designed really starts to help with that. But for the most part, like I just find myself just not being able to do that. And for some people that's a good thing, and for some people that's not a good thing. They don't like that. But I also recognize that like this is like a thing that I need to work on as a potential source of people's entertainment. It's just being able to talk while I'm doing stuff. And like in this casual content, like I literally do not care about my performance. Like as long as I don't die to stupid things, I'm like fine. But like, ooh, we love the lag out here. You know, but when I'm doing content that I care about, I find it very difficult to want to like be able to feel like I'm as entertaining. Like I'm never going to be, the person that's going to talk your ear off for like 4 or 5 straight hours. I just can't do that. And that's why I like having, I never want to demand people to chat in my stream. It's you're already choosing to spend your time with me. Like that's 100% more than enough. But like it always makes it better when there are people active in the chat just to like that are just like giving thoughts or whatever that I can just play off of and bounce off of. Because that's the other thing is I kind of suck at holding conversations unless it's like things that I hyper fixate on. And those things basically are like WoW class design. It's like WoW class design. It's myself. Obviously, I love talking about myself. I know that sounds, for some people, that's going to be like, oh, that's so narcissistic of you. Like, no, it's just like it's a subject I'm very, very well versed in. And talking about world building, obviously talking about history. They're just things that like I know I can go on about, but then there are times where it's like I feel like I've talked those subjects to death, and now I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to talk about, and sometimes that's where the ability of having people to bounce off of is good. It's why I like sitting in some of like the it's why I like sitting in some of these like VTubers chats that do like 4-hour just chatting streams, and I'm like, how? And then I actually watch them and I realize they only talk about subjects they want to talk about for like maybe 15 minutes. Other than that, they are bouncing off their chat the entire time. And it's really funny. Let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 out of 20. Okay. And I just, maybe I get to that point eventually, but for now, like, I'm not there. So I have to generate that stuff and show off my personality and stuff like that. And, hopefully I continue to be able to do that. But to be fair, there's also subjects that like, A, I don't want to talk about. And B, there are aspects of things that I do like talking about that I don't think are fully necessary to do here on stream. Like I've legit got into things like sexual health and just like learning about things that I can do to take care of myself and potentially a future partner for mine and stuff like that. Like it's really an interesting subject for me, but like I'm not gonna talk about that here. I'll keep that to certain pockets of my social media profiles. So like it's a balance. It's a really interesting and weird balance, and one that I think a lot about. Like think about that, and then I also find myself in a position where like on top of that I think about things like I love supporting the people that I have connected with in this community. Like we raided Cathalawyer last night. One of my better friends that I've made in this whole freaking, honestly, it's like this whole freaking community. She's become one of my best friends. Haleonix, by far one of my best friends in this community. And so, like, just being able to find ways to be able to, like, support them while also taking my own journey. Like, this is something I literally have not stopped thinking about it. Like, it's wild how much this thought process has just been burning in my brain. But like, how do I balance the two? Like, how do I balance finding ways to support my friends and be active in their chats and stuff like that with also trying to maximize my content journey and stuff like that? Haleonix talked about like just give shout outs when you think of people or when things come up and stuff like that, and like that's great, but like particularly for the people that are making pushes for whether it's like affiliate or it's partner type stuff where they're trying to maximize things, like how do I find the balance between trying to support that but also like focus on my own goals? I need to talk to some more creators about it. Like there's a few creators that I know that that I've gotten to know, and a couple of them have accepted me into their little circles and have already labeled me as friend, which is awesome and humbling. but like, you know, it's a challenge. If I myself wanted to watch streams and that just runs counter to being a streamer, yeah, that's absolutely part of the problem. Like, I love doing this, like, in a lot of ways, especially right now. Like, streaming right now for me is a massive sanity check, like legit a huge sanity check for me, because I'm out of work, because I've been struggling in a job market that kind of sucks. Like, let's just be real, it sucks. I mean, we all saw the job numbers for 2025. It was less than 500,000 jobs. That's the lowest it's been forever. You know, so this has been like my sanity. Yeah, 16,000 layoffs at Amazon today. So I mean, like, yeah, it's dumb. And you know, I don't know how long it's going to be able to continue before we break. Now, I've got a 6-figure 401k that I can dip into, so I'm going to be fine for as long as I have that going. And based off my bills and the massive cutting back of spending that I've done, generally speaking, I'm going to be fine for, I can make it through most of the year. But like, I mean, I've already had to dip into it once. Ideally, I don't have to dip into it again, but you know, if I do, I do. I'm willing to make that so that I can, you know, I'll sacrifice my future. I mean, at this point, I'm 38 years old. I'm a millennial that was graduated high school in 2005. I barely had time to get into a job market before the 2008 financial crash happened. I've already accepted the fact that I will never retire. Unless something wild happens, like I hit the lotto or I stumble across something mega viral and it blows me up, and you know, I get kicked out of a Marvel Rivals tournament and then make more money off of support from the community, or whatever stupid thing happens. Like, if content creation, I make something like a, you know, 6 figures or 7 figures in a year, yeah, I could probably retire at that point, because I know exactly how to make my savings last. But if I'm working a regular job and that's like my main source of income, or my only source of income, let's be real, unless something fundamentally changes in the next 15 years with how the US system works, I'm never going to retire. You know, my dad just went from retiring at, he'll turn 67 this year. He's now set his retirement at 70. Like, that's nuts. You know, my mom is basically talking about working until she's my grandmother's age, which is in her 80s. You know, like, even my parents, who are boomers, they are actual legit baby boomers. Like, not just like, you know, the joking style boomer. They are actual, like, generational baby boomers. Even they are struggling to figure out ways to retire and stuff like that. So it's like, I've just accepted that I'm never going to retire. And so I'm going to work until I die, basically. So in the meantime, I might as well have as much fun along the way as I can, which is why something like this has been so important to me and things like that. So you know, did that make it fair? Absolutely not. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And honestly, I'm trying to make it so that my son doesn't have to do the same thing that I'm doing. Okay, it's pretty fucked. There's be a fundamental system change. There does have to be a fundamental system change, but the problem is I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, I kind of know what needs to happen in order to make that happen, but the ability for that to happen right now is going to be really limited unless the next couple of election cycles in the US change. See, I don't even know if I'd want to be, because I'm so close to 50 now. I'm, you know, 11 years basically, because I turned 39 this year, from 50. I don't know if I want to be done working at that age. I want to be doing something comfortable at that time. Like, I don't want to be, you know, breaking my back lifting 100-pound boxes that some ridiculous housewife that doesn't know the value of work and blames her husband for everything is, you know, ordering off of Amazon for the millionth day in a row, but like, yeah, I want to be doing something that's comfortable, that's motivating, that's fulfilling, you know. But at the same time, like, you know, if I can, like I said, if something breaks through on content creation and I can retire early knowing that I'd be okay, and my, you know, my son is going to be okay, and even my stepdaughter, like, you know, I don't think people that don't have kids don't fully understand like how much I love that child, even though she does not call me dad anymore. She hasn't for years. You know, for a while we barely spoke. And so now it's like a situation where, but like she knows that I will, you know, I'm going to be Ben Affleck in the town. We're going to hurt some people. We can never talk about it again. Let's go. And I will commit crimes to protect that girl. But, and she knows that. So I want to make sure that even though I have no legal claim to her, you know, the connection between us is strictly through marriage and years of a shared bond. But like, I've told her, like, if, you know, if there's something that her mom can't help her with, she can come to me and I will help her with it. You know, or my family will help her with it for sure. So like, she knows she's family. I want to make sure she's okay. I want to make sure my son's okay and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, I want to go there. And I'm not going to have any more kids. I legitimately had the surgery to not do it 6 months ago at this point. But I want to make sure that those two have a world where they don't have to deal with what I've dealt with, you know. And there's new challenges that they're throwing at me all the time. I got diagnosed as autistic, level 1 autistic, so I'm like mild comparatively speaking to some other people, but like mildly autistic with moderate to severe ADHD. That has kind of restructured my life. I got diagnosed shortly after turning 38 with that. After almost a year worth of work trying to go through all the testing process and stuff like that. Like, thank God my psychiatrist was like willing to fight for me on that. You know, so even that, like at 38 years old, where like, you know, a 38-year-old in the 90s would have had their fucking life together by this point. Like, they would have had almost every, you know, the thought process is that they would have had almost everything that they ever needed. And here I am, I'm renting an apartment. I'm a part-time parent. I don't have stability in my job. Like, it's really funny to think about how things have changed, you know, because my dad turned 67 this year. So I think about, let's see, that would have been 2006 when he turned 38. You know, you think about how things were in 2006 versus how they were now in 2026 or 2007. Yeah, it's kind of wild to think about that. You know, 2000. Also, it's kind of wild to think about that in 2006 I was 18. You know, but there are things about the early to mid 2000s that I remember more vividly than I remember even stuff over the last 4 years. Funny how brains work. Thing is, the expectations are so much higher now too. That is also true. You know, and things like, you know, even though it's like it's a kind of a necessary evil as for being a content creator, but like social media definitely has damaged society in ways that we still don't fully understand. It has inevitably done some good. Like, you know, there's a reason that meme, the worst person you know makes an actual valid point, exists, and it's because that is a thing that happens. You know, broken clock right twice a day metaphor and stuff like that. Social media's undoubtedly done some good. I've met some amazing people because of social media. You know, everyone sitting in this chat right now, I've met through social media. Discord is a form of social media. You know, online gaming is a not necessarily a form of social media, but like we connect and talk mostly through different forms of social media. You know, even now as I've been getting a lot more active on, particularly on Blue Sky, because like fuck Twitter. I still have my Twitter. I still am using my Twitter because there are people that I've connected with through Twitter that's like, you know, that is still unfortunately the main platform for a lot of content creators and stuff like that. And businesses still unfortunately do a lot of business through there. Like I've joked about trying to get like a Gamer Subs sponsorship and shit like that just for the hell of it. But but I want to establish a few other things before I start to try and pursue things like little sponsorships. But God, Voice of the Eclipse pops up like every other rare, man. But like, it's just like, social media unfortunately has also done so much. Like I had this thought before. I was listening to, unfortunately, one of my favorite creators does gender war content. Like, I don't necessarily like that's the content that she does, but I mean, she has like very valid reasons for it. You know, she's actually legitimately trying to do stuff about it. I'm gonna snooze this for the last time I can this stream, and then we'll kick the ads off a little bit later into the stream here. But you know, she has a valid reason for doing it. Like, she's helping reshape some family court stuff in particularly in Michigan right now. She's done a lot of work there. So like, she's bought in ways that other creators aren't, but she does do gender war stuff. And she was talking about like modern dating, even though she's been married for 10 years, but obviously, you know, dating content is always going to be super popular. And she was kind of talking about how like extremist voices on both sides of the male-female spectrum have like destroyed dating because social media has amplified them. And the line that I thought of, and then she said it like a couple seconds later, is like, people will say like, oh, banning my social media is like violating my free speech. I'm like, well, no, you don't fully understand what that means. But like, and I said it in the comments of that video, I was like, you know, this is always a good reminder that while everyone deserves the right to have their opinion, not everyone deserves the right to platform that opinion. And that's kind of where I'm falling at. Social media has made it so that everyone has a platform for their opinion, when in the reality is that a lot of people should have never had that platform. Their stuff should have been on the darkest recesses of the internet, or in your podunk town that has 8 people and you're all related and yet you all sleep together. Like, let's be real. You know, Andrew Tate does not survive the 90s. Like, his views on stuff just doesn't make it. But because he has platforms like social media and stuff like that, oh good, I need him. He was able to spread his stuff. And on the other side of the spectrum, there's, you know, that sort of toxic feminists that are like, you know, their entire personality is that all men must die. Like, those are also people that frankly should never have a platform, and yet they do, because social media allows them to have one. And that's where social media is like bad. There are enough men to admit. I don't deny that. I'm not sitting here saying men have done no wrong. That is not the fucking truth. Like, they, even to this day, they do a lot to actively harm society. But like, that doesn't mean that they should have a social media platform to be able to do that. Like, it's really funny to me that people are like, you know, I miss the old days of social media. I'm like, bitch, you're 20. You've never known what the old days of social media were. You know? I remember in the late 90s, when social media was basically all about the most ridiculous cat memes all your base belong to us. Like, you know, do not speak the omens to me, witch. I was there when they were written. I'm that old. You know. MySpace learning HTML. Hell yeah. I still remember the drama around, like, because I was... MySpace was, I think it was when I was in, like, late high school, early college. So it's big amongst like everyone that I hung out with. But like, it's really funny to me because like I remember the drama that would pop up around my circle of friends when someone learned that someone pulled someone out of their top 8. You know, it was like a badge of honor to be in someone's top 8. You know. And then people would like fall out of their top 8 and there'd be drama about it. Why'd you take me out of your top 8? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, God, I both love and hate those times. Like, I hated them in the moment because I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. And then so, because like in between that and MSN Messenger. Oh God, an AOL chat. Oh my God. You know, and it was just like, at the time you thought it was the stupidest thing ever because it's like, you know, for me it was like, bro, we got this show on Saturday that we're trying to win. Like, I don't care that X person took their former best friend out of their top 8 because they disagreed on like whether or not she should date boy Y or whatever. None of that fucking mattered to me. But in some ways, like, I didn't realize it then, but you look back on it now, like, if that was the major pieces of drama, then, like, we really didn't understand how good it was. Because now, obviously, we have, you know, child predator rings, like, just in the streaming sphere, think about it, like, we've had this whole shit with Lucari go down, where he was distributing child content, and then, you know, we've got... because I'm big into the VTuber sphere, obviously, with that being, you know, a culture that I've really gotten into, and obviously I'll be working towards putting myself into that culture with my mom. You know, some would say I'm already there, but at the same time, like, you know, I don't have a full 2D model, so but unfortunately I'm in the VTuber sphere. By the way, ads are starting in 30 seconds for those that are not subscribers. 3 minutes of ads, apologies. I've snoozed them as long as I possibly can, so now I can't stop them the rest of the stream. FYI. So yeah, so it's just like one of those things where like I kind of wish that like taking so and so out of top 8 would be fine, you know. Like, we're finally starting to see like the impacts that all of the technology had, and then things like COVID, it fast forwarded it greatly in ways that like we didn't fully recognize being as damaging as it was coming. So it's like, it's just really interesting to watch kind of like the next step society evolve into almost kind of wanting to go back to what it was in like the late 90s, early 2000s from like a cultural standpoint. Everyone's attention span's beyond fucked. I will admit mine's not as what it used to be. It's absolutely not what it used to be. And you know, I look at like, you know, but when I think about it, like something like, you know, and everyone blames, ADHD is because of like enhanced screens and you know, random things get blamed for autism and shit like that. And it's like, no, I mean, I've looked back, like, in talking to my parents too about this, like, when I really think about like how I behaved as a child, like, yeah, like, it makes a lot of sense. Like, my mom told me one time, and she meant it, I think, as a compliment, but it kind of wasn't, is that she told me, like, you would get into things, you know, maybe because of your brothers and stuff like that. But what happened is that even though they were like more naturally talented at certain things, I always was up to their level because I usually outworked them. And I'm like, looking back on it, I outworked them because it was me hyper fixating. You know, like, it was that way with when I was in high school with drumline. Like, it became like my obsession, and I think a lot of that came because it was a thing I hyper fixated on. It was a thing that gave me great joy. In a lot of ways, it helped keep me focused. It taught me a lot of focus because, you know, you'd have your blocks where you couldn't move for 5 minutes and stuff like that, you know. And then there was always something new to learn. There was always something better to get cleaner and stuff like that. And like, I think it satisfied a lot of like my ADHD and autistic tendencies. But, you know, beyond that, like, once I kind of lost that, I think it really started to show in college, where I was left to my own devices. And because I had the structure of high school band for 4 years, really going back 6 years, because like I started getting involved in high school band when I was in 7th grade by just being around all the time because my brother was in high school band. And then I became a band manager, just doing things like refilling the water coolers for when they took breaks and little things. And then in 8th grade, I was asked to be in like a couple of the shows. I had little parts there that were important to the greater cog. And so like, when I lost that structure, I don't think I adapted as well. And it took until I started dating my ex-wife and we started living together, and that structure was reintroduced to me. You know, now obviously got divorced, and, you know, then I relied on my job to be the reason that I had structure in my life. And now, right now, I don't have anything, which is why I'm struggling with so much structure in my life. So yeah, fun stuff. Fuck it, we'll kill it, but I don't know. But I absolutely admit, like, I've had mornings, like, I woke up at 9 o'clock today, and I started doom scrolling almost immediately. Like, I should have gotten out of bed, I should have showered, I should have done my stretching routine. I did none of that today because I just started doom scrolling. You know, and I could tell, like, you know, what it was like. And it's one of those things, like, I know I'm doom scrolling, but then, like, you kind of get caught into the insanity of it all. Like, they play the psychological tricks that comes with doom scrolling and stuff like that. And I didn't crawl out of bed until like 11 o'clock. I spent 2 hours basically doom scrolling and listening to videos. And, you know, granted, yes, one of them was like an actual like podcast about history, and so I'm like, I was learning shit. But you know, so I didn't feel as bad about listening to a 1 hour podcast on, you know, well, it's gonna be longer, but I spent an hour listening to what was like a 5 hour podcast basically on the Roman Senate. or the Greek Senate rather, like the Greek government structure, ancient Greece government structure. You know, so like at least that podcast was not like brain rot. It's actual like real fucking scholars. You know, but legitimately, it was like that was the first day where it's happened, and I find myself like, oh, this is why people hang out on this island, because it's kind of in the middle of everything. That's cool. But like, I've noticed like over the last week when I've tried to implement this structure where I wake up at 9:30, and instead of opening my phone, what I usually will do is, now I check for like certain messages and stuff, because I know some people are obviously they're awake much sooner than me. So if they message me, I want to make sure that like I can respond to them. But like after that, I don't really open a social media channel for like another hour, because I will do a stretch routine, either into just a short body weight workout, or like I fucking love the weather as it is right now. I'm a cold weather guy, and in Florida, obviously cold for us is like 30 degrees. I see cold as being what like everyone else is dealing with, where it's like 0 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 degrees, stuff like that. Like that's cold to me. But it's one of those situations where it's like I'll take walks in that case, because I mean I did set a goal to lose 25 pounds or 20 pounds this year. It's about one a month. I want to get down to, I think an ideal weight for me would be around 175. I'm sitting around 200 right now. So like I want to be able to drop that weight, just because it's better for my body. It's going to make it so that I have ideally some less, it'll take some strain off my back. Hopefully it even helps things like my acid reflux. But like I've been doing those things, and I haven't weighed myself in a couple of weeks, just because I don't have a scale at home. I usually will weigh myself at my parents' house and do some calculations accordingly. But like I've discovered that like without immediately jumping on social media, I've actually been able to feel like my focus is better. Especially during the holidays, obviously had a downtick in like being able to focus on job applications, mainly because like who the fuck's hiring in the middle of Christmas? But like since the new year started, I've noticed that I've noticed that I've been able to like focus better on doing things like a job hunt. Yes, I'm obviously very active in Discords and stuff like that, but like the cool thing about Discord is that I can just like leave that alone and then come back and read it and catch up on it whenever I want to. Like that's one of the like benefits of Discord, frankly. Is that it's a little bit easier to like go back and catch up, and if it's like overwhelming, like there's a server that I'm in that like I woke up this morning, opened it, and there was 290 messages sitting there, and so basically I was like, okay, for the people that have been awake the last couple of hours, what did I miss? And they summed up the conversation. Basically there was some, in that server there was some EU politics talk, and then discussing the potential for like what this Mythic Plus season is going to look like, which is fine. It's a WoW Discord. You kind of expect that, right? But like, for example, when I stream, I will occasionally check Discord, like if there's a downtime, or like if I say, hey, I'm going to take 5 minutes and take a break, and I come back within 3 minutes, I usually take those last 2 minutes to sit down and just catch up on Discord. And anything that I miss. So it's like nice. Let's see. 5 minutes. Ooh, let's pull this. We're looking at it right now, Sandy. As soon as it wants to load. from 40 to 20. Okay. I want to know when that hotfix is going. Is that better than before? Yes. So right now the rares are spawning every, I think it's like every 10 minutes. And then the cost for all the gear is 40 tokens. So they're going to reduce that to 20 so that people can grab through the gear fast enough, and then they're spawning the rares faster, which means this 2 minutes to midnight achievement that I'm working on is going to be a lot easier to do. Like, I think right now, I think the fastest that I've seen people talk about them getting it done is something like 4 or 5 hours. Because the spawns are RNG. Like, I've not seen Berg the Spellfist once. I've not seen Executioner once. I've not seen Corla once. Like, all these ones that I need, I've not seen them once. But Voice of the Eclipse, I've seen like 28 times, it feels like. Okay, that's just an add-on for pre-patch rares. Yeah, link the Curseforge in there, Zandy. I tend not to do anything for pre-patch events, like add-on wise, just because, frankly, I don't care. They're short-term events. So, if you care about housing at all, I would grab that, because there are 3 items that you can get out of the pre-patch event that will just, each one will give you a little bit of housing XP, so that's a free 30 XP. And then also a mount if you care about that. Actually, the mount's not bad. I don't remember what it was called. I'll pull it because I already bought it. Let's see. Mounts. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I'll look it up. Currently level 31, trying to make enough money for a mount. Yeah, I had someone that I know, they're playing through thing, and they just had someone, like a warlock, walk up to them and gave them 50 gold, because they apparently had like 500 gold, so they were just picking people at random that they saw out in the world, and I'm like, first off, how in the hell did you collect 500 gold that quickly? You know, and then it dawned on me that it's TBC Classic, so they probably made a lot of gold at the end of Classic, and then when they transferred the characters over or whatever, then that's been that money carried over with them. I don't need Ix, but I want stuff because obviously I want to gear, at least get this tune up. To like 121, that way I can make it through like all the way to the Zulaman zone to I do want to try to take this character and play Fire AoE instead of Frost AoE. And a key, now that I've gotten A, a little bit more gear, and B, I've gotten some... I spent some time off stream on the target dummies, just practicing mainly the combustion window in single target. Lagging so much that I'm inputting keys faster than the game is processing them. And notice how many frames I get as soon as people stop Oh, someone dropped the freaking training dummy. What a jerk. That is a bullshit thing to do, dude. Well, I got enough for another piece of gear once that change goes in. Kind of sucks because, like, I bought, you know, the chest piece for like 40% or whatever. Or for 40. Yeah, I'm not going to get that back. That's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to lose out on my 40. I don't think they're going to refund the cost. They have no reason to, frankly. We'll see. So, all right. Well, maybe I'll be out here while they're I probably will wait and just until yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see if I can go find like a key to do here before I go jump on the monk and slam some Windwalker Mage Tower, trying to get these last 2 or 3 done that I need done. You know, I'm gonna stick all that in the warband. Dude, my heater's been running so much because of the weather temperatures that I think it's like drying out the air in here, and like my nose is like not happy about it. The inside of my nose has felt super dry. Like I woke up a couple of times in the night because I couldn't pretty much have to run a perma humidifier in the winter. Yeah, I don't have one. I probably should get one, but like Alright, the question is do I list my own street ski, or do I just try to find a street ski? So I wonder if Raider IO's been updated. Assuming you're too geared, I'd say your own key. Yeah, I'm not. So. Let me. Make some tweaks here to graphics settings because I have not been getting some frames lately, man, and it's been frustrating. I'm just sitting in Dornagal with 15 FPS with like a 90% default UI. It's really stupid. I'll probably do one more on this character. I don't think I've done one on this character. I don't think I've done keys on any of my tunes yet. No, so I'll jump on the Mage. I'll just start rotating through my characters and trying to get them into keys. Although I did a couple on my Demon Hunter last night. Ah, fuck it. We'll do the stack. Why not? I got nothing else to lose. Always fun when you get the tank DPS heal stack, you know? Yeah, we'll bring the drip along. I'll use a balance druid. It's gonna suck, but whatever. So we got our hero, got our battle res. Assuming the battle res isn't the one to die all the time. Also, it's funny, I did a key with Led and Harley, and they were like, I was like, I got a 12 streets, and they're like, I don't know. I was like, you'll be fine. And then we almost two-chested it. And they were like, wow, that was significantly better than I thought it was going to be. Keys are like base roll easy right now. Yeah, Dawnbreaker's Devourer is cursed. It is cursed. I found that I saw that was an issue. Like, someone reported it to me. And they're like, hey, don't do Dawnbreaker's Devourer. So I actually went in there at Havoc and did a key there. That's the only dungeon I haven't done as Devourer yet, I don't think. No, I haven't done Arakara as Devourer yet. I've only done that one as VDH. Sorry, my chest is like on fire. Yeah, now that it's fixed, I want to go back in and mess with it. because sorry, I'm refilling my water. Um, because I need to do some more crest farming again, just to make the leveling process a little bit faster. Mainly so I can replace my belt, because I still have like a champion belt. You know, I can get rid of that. That will allow me to. I'll probably get through this key. Let's see, 36 minutes until ads. Yeah, I can get through this key. Well, I went out on my shield at least. Let all the dots go off. If I'm not talking during combat a lot, it's because I'm trying to figure out this fucking spec. Oof, almost got hit by that. I did not want that.
In my city, not for long. You should never have come to Tazavesh, stranger. Drop your weapons, or I will seize them. Return to me. Let us hear how loud you can scream. Should never have come to Tazavesh, stranger. Drop your weapons, or I will seize them. Rally to me. Prepare to be interrogated.
I think that was a touch of death used on that.
Should never have come to Tazavesh, stranger. Drop your weapons, or I will seize them. Rally to me. Let us hear how loud you can scream. Should never have come to Tazavesh, stranger. Papers.
About 6,000, not bad considering I've barely played this spec.
A necessary tragedy. Unfortunately, we have now drawn the ire of Cartel Zoo.
Yep, hit the wrong button there. Oh well. It's part of the learning process, right? not for... I wonder if it's for either one. It can be on Flame Strike. Cool.
Cartel Sai has a profitable venture. Hopefully, this inclines them to aid our own.
What I need is a distraction. Shot teeth. Mr. Beast.
Wait, how did the beast escape from its cage?
Cartel Sai is not responsible for any loss of limb that occurs during this demonstration.
I'm gonna leave off the AoE.
We have the solution. Watch as my assistant activates.
With controls this easy, even a treasure
Imbecile, turn it off.
it is out of control.
Thank you all. That concludes our demonstration.
Cleanse yourself with annihilation. Cleanse yourself with annihilation. Overheating. Venting anima.
Now's my chance. That axe is mine. They thought variable dimension totals would keep me out. Pathetic. Done.
Alright.
To mama.
Overheating. Venting anima.
I will rend your soul. Death binds you. Be devoured.
I wanted to hit mass barrier there, but we didn't have it.
I will rend your soul. Submit.
You saved our menagerie. Well,
Oh boy. Alright.
It's a simple matter.
65 on that one, but that was with some AoE in the beginning, so and some 2-target cleave, which always helps fire.
Our signature is a fair trade, especially if it results in your departure.
A friend here may be of help in acquiring Zoe's signature.
Somebody help! This place is a disaster!
Wait, who is that? Where is Basim?
Could have grabbed an energy drink instead of a soda. Yeah.
Parcels containing fluids must be destroyed. Special delivery. Manipulants require verification by measure of secret share and blood. Carnage.
I hate that thought I got one used all my mobility to get over there. Okay, so we're getting there. So I'm sitting between 6 and 7,500 DPS on single target. That's not bad considering the gear.
Whoever you are. Now, may I tempt you with my wares? Ah, yes. Thank you.
No problem at all. Now to find our way back to Azeroth. After I make a few processing.
Love the release bug. Can't believe that shit's still in the fucking game. I swear to God. We'll switch to more upbeat music after this key. I'm gonna do the pre-patch event once they implement that fix with the rare spawns and the cost reduction of everything.
Next performance.
A round of applause, please.
Easy, all of you. This is not that kind of establishment.
Okay. I think I'm starting to get more consistent at level 3. I don't know if it's good, but I'm getting more consistent.
Vigorous show. My establishment would not survive another.
We have
But like
all the
he's
signatures we need.
40 item levels, 35 item levels above me,
Cartel Soul's underhanded dealings have not escaped my attention.
45 item levels above me.
Signature. As long as you never again bring destruction to my oasis.
Same item level as me. So that explains why that is happening. I got 2 carriers, the tank and the boomkin, and then we have, you know, me and the warrior, which are the quote-unquote carries.
Our intrusion, Solia. I hope
Which is to be expected, you know.
convenient time.
Aldalil, is there no sanctuary from your filth?
Hear me, Solia. The artifact you seek brings only suffering.
Suffering and power. I must now travel beyond Tafel.
Die, foes of Cartel Soul.
Be where your opponent is not. When outnumbered, divide your enemies. Strike from beyond reach. Your skills are lacking. Be where your opponent is not.
Cartel. There's my shame.
370 fucking
Solia may
points.
have a head start, but her echo remains an echo we can follow.
All right. It's not bad. About 7,500 DPS at 115. It ain't too terrible here. All right, ads are starting up. Yeah, good timing. Right after this key is over, so we take that. We take that quite a bit. Alright, so he's done. We'll start rotating through. Let's go ahead and grab the hunter and get him done. I'm back. Welcome back, Zandy. Just in time. I think you're a subscriber, so you should be alright. But yeah, I got ads coming up in about a minute or so. And I'm just cycling through my characters to get a key done on them. With the exception of the Demon Hunter, I've already done it. I'm going to try to join some as Devourer with him, but... oh, a turbo for you, that's right. You check out the add-on? No, not yet. I decided to wait until they get that hotfix implemented. And then maybe that add-on gets updated to go with it. And that way I can kind of knock that out later on tonight. And I just wanted to get some other stuff finished up this evening as well. Like everyone's getting fucking street keys, man. Yeah, for sure. I've been kind of keeping a quiet eye on it on the side here. Trying to think. See, other than Dojo Raid on Friday tomorrow, so I think Saturday is gonna be our Final Fantasy VII stream. Already did 2 full rotation of rares next week, yeah, or last week, yeah. Yeah, I haven't got the full rotation, obviously, but like I keep getting like the same like 3 rares that keep popping up, like a lot of Ix, a lot of Voice of the Empire. Rare spawn in a specific rotation. Oh, that's good to know. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll get back to it here once the hotfix goes in, and I'm assuming the add-on will need to be updated to go with it. You know, I hope with the gear squish and stuff that they would actually do something to make like repair costs way less. That has not been the case. I mean, I get maybe why they wouldn't want to take me. I'm only 994 and I've not done many keys, but like, come on, guys. If this doesn't work, I'll load up my floodgate here. I'll just wait for these pendings. If I get denied from any of these, then I'll just list my floodgate. Okay. So, by the way, if anyone ever has like a raid target, like even though I only send like anywhere between 1 to 5 people over to another streamer at a time, I still like raiding people that like just to kind of A, potentially develop connections, and B, just allow me to like show off as many people inside a certain community as possible. So if there's someone that you would like for me to raid or that you suggest I raid, please let me know. Like, I'm always down to do that. Now, we're not going to be stopping anytime soon. We're only barely, not even, we're just shy of 2 hours in. So, so we're going to go for probably another 2 to 3 hours. I'm not doing triple hunter DPS, even though these guys are super fucking geared. Oh, fuck it. Now the hard part, we wait for the tank and the healer. You know, something that I was thinking about, like they sent out that survey talking about like shaman tanks and stuff like that. And like it dawned on me, and everyone's talking about like, oh, no one wants to play tanks. Like, would a shaman tank really be that changing? And how many of the shaman players would actually go and fucking play it? Other than like out of curiosity, I doubt actually that it would be a ton. I actually think the number would be lower than we think, and it would be all the current hardcore tank players that would actually play shaman tank, especially if it was any good. Which I find really, it's an interesting thought process, right? Like, people don't want to play tanks and healers. I mean, healers I kind of get, like, healing is a little bit toxic right now, although the little bit I've healed in Midnight beta dungeons has reminded me that, like, I think they're on the right path with it. They just got to tune the healers better. And then as long as they do that, I think healing will end up being okay. Like, you know, Mistweaver's in a tough spot right now. Holy Priest is in a tough spot right now, my understanding. But like, would shaman tank really impact the reasons that people don't tank? Because like, I don't think it's a situation where people don't find the tank specs fun. I think most people find a tank spec that they really like. and can at least stick to it. Like, obviously I love VDH and Bear, and still a soft spot for Brew. But, like, I don't think that's what's, like, the things that, like, when I talk to people, what stops them from tanking is, like, it's the perception stuff. Like, it's the things that are like, oh, I have to know the route. I have to know how to stay alive. I have to pace the dungeon the correct way. Like, all these things that are not actually, like, playing tank classes. I mean, yes, a limited selection doesn't help matters, but I don't think that that's causing... Sorry, text message that was important for me to answer. But yeah, I don't think that's like the issue with tank classes is not the classes themselves. Like, I mean, I don't find every tank fun. Like, Blood DK is fucking god awful in my opinion, but like, it's everything around tanking that's all the problem. So I'm curious to know, like, I'd be curious to have, like, the idea of, does but like, does adding another tank class actually change anything? I don't think so. You know, the thing about tanking is that we need people basically to fundamentally alter their perspective on what makes a good tank. Because, like, people put so much pressure on the tank, and I'm like, I get it. And then there are the people that complain about, like, no tanks, and I'm like, fucking tank yourself. And then they get all huffy and puffy about it. You know, they're like, oh, why are you telling me to tank? Well, you're bitching about the tank, so go fucking do it yourself. Like, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Forgot to update all my Raider IO stuff. data from 5 days ago? Really, Ryo?
At Walden University, get the W.
With tempo learning, I'm in the driver's seat.
Go faster. Go slower.
What I already know and what's happening in my world sets my pace. Let's do this. Get the W. Walden University.
I really need to... That's the other thing I want to do is, like, when I start making money again, I'm going to get YouTube Premium. Because, like, fuck these ads, dude. I'm so sick of that shit. Waiting on tanks. And LFR. Name a more iconic duo. Amazing how, like, changing music kind of changes my energy a little bit. Like, we were listening to the Wild Lo-Fi, which is awesome, and I love doing it for the start of stream. But, like... Talking about dinner and D&D. Appreciate that, Haley. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Yeah, D&D night for you. Awesome. Well, I appreciate the lurk either way. Alright. And we're back in the queue waiting on the support roles. Gotta love when a band puts out an interesting teaser talking about the end of an era. And people are like, what? They're very confused by it, and it's kind of funny. Oh boy, I hate this part of frickin' LFR, man. I think I saw someone post a video about why no tanks and healers anymore, and I'm like, you know, I kind of understand it, but like, I gotta watch that video and see like if there's anything that I agree with from a. Alright, back. Got the healer again. Now we're back to the frickin' tank. Mistborn, potentially. Mistborn and Stormlight archives being eyed for film and adaptations to television. Interesting. That's really interesting. Obviously, I have Stormlight archives. I'm like 4 chapters in because I've been reading slow. Like, I can see why, obviously, people... I mean, I know that series is super popular, and, I mean, I'm obviously picking up and reading on it. And hot pot. Gotta love that an article has come out that for Leon Kennedy that the artist that was working on him is a man, but the he went to a lot of the lady developers and was like, all right, what are the things that we need to do to make the look better? And they basically went what I think was, I won't say full slut mode, but pretty close to it. Like, they just went feral woman and was like, okay. Hey, we'll take it. 130 tank, don't care, we're doing it. Alright, well, a little nervous about the tank, but we'll find fucking out. Yeah, I don't think Straight's telling the truth about that. He's talking about, oh, this is my first time. It's my big brother's account. Yeah, I don't believe that, buddy. Alright, let's see how this Hunter Key is MM goes. I played Survival. It was busted. Got Okay, I see how he's doing this. Man, played MM and Hun so long. Not sure what route this dude's leading them through. Lost aggro. He got me on aggro. That's what it was. It's alright. Like I said, I'm the lowest DPS, so that's probably fine that I'm the one that died. It is what it is. Just reading this post from Brandon Sanderson. Honestly, like for a tank that's quote unquote learning retail, this is probably one of the best groups to like play with, because he's got 3 hunters that can misdirect him. So like he actually works out really well that he can
Scrabbling after any shred of control.
I'm not proccing trick shots correctly all the time. Like I'm using it too much. In some case, I'm using multi-shot too much, so gotta clean that up. But
Năm mới vẫn là extra value meals tại McDonald's. Giờ đây được 2 snack wraps, thêm khoai chiên và một ly giải khát cỡ chung chỉ 8 đồng. For a limited time only, prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
Scrabbling after any shred of control.
mean, he's got some basics down, which is good.
I'll get him, boss.
Slow down and enjoy this.
All right, we get those. It's called Bardic music, and it kind of fits, like Bardic rock.
Feed on the void. Let its darkness fill you.
Forgot to put my secret technique on somebody. on you for... Oh, wow, let's see.
All of you, feed on the void. Let its darkness fill you.
Oh, I forgot to change my buffs. I don't care about the bullet storm buff mostly. It's got a little bit of hip hop vibe to it. Okay, ads are starting up here very shortly. Another checking in. All that fun stuff. I know I've been quiet a little bit. I just don't really have a ton to talk about right now, so...
You dare question me? Face annihilation! Mortals. Scrabbling after any shred of control.
Still 3 minutes on the. Not gonna lie, I've been worried this whole dungeon bad tank would cause problems, and it didn't. All right. Don't need kaboom.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders. My favorite.
All right. Yeah. So marksman definitely not as good as what survival was doing for me, but I think some of that's just a stat distribution thing. Like I just really didn't have it. Believe I did one on my evoker. Let me check. If I did a key on the evoker, then we'll jump back on the mage and go back into Twilight Highlands and do all the fun stuff there. Well, I'm gonna go about 3 hours. Probably go another hour, hour and a half, depending on how things are. Alright, I have not done one yet. Question is, do I want to try to heal one, or do I want to do a dev key? I think this character will have a little bit better time. Yeah, he's almost 2,500. He'll find a better time. Let's do 10 to 12. Plus, I'm a hero bot, so yeah. Particularly because I think I've already done Floodgate at. No, yeah, I've already done Floodgate at 10, so. Alright, so we'll do this key and then we'll head back to the event. See if we can grind out the rest of the Rare, see if maybe the fucking quests have come back. Maybe there's more world quests, whatever the case may be. Or the world quests are going to reset with the Friday night, like, reset thing that happens generally.
We've got another incursion, and we need some defenders. I know you're good at this.
Let's see. I don't really want spatial paradox. Mainly because our healer's a resto druid, so that doesn't do me any good. Ah, screw it. We'll be fine. Yeah, I can tell who hadn't tanked before because we're seeing Big Mama routes first. But he does know this pathing, which is, in my opinion, the correct pathing. Dude, we're blowing this boss up. Holy shit. Okay, Devour's got it. I mean, we're blowing this key up, so like the hero timing's not being saving my Dragon Rage for the boss at this point. I'm gonna focus on Bront here since she's down pretty low. Is his health is low? Yeah, fine. I mean, all right.
Scrambling after any shred of control.
So I can see the tank. Probably didn't need to use my empowers there, but whatever. Flame Shaper playstyle is like fine, but it definitely feels like it needs a little extra tweaks. Oh, excuse me. I forgot that this build hires 3. You got this? Yeah, I know I got it. It's just like... Oh, we were short a mob, short a mob, short a mob! The classic works route. I do that about all the fucking time where I'm like, oh, I missed one goddamn mob. The DPS in this key has been nuts, though. Like, I don't know if you can see it on the, I don't know if you can see it on the bottom right through my... But yeah, we did 42, 37, 35. That was the numbers for the boss fight plus that key. Like, that is pretty damn good. This spec is... Like, I get it. I like Scale Commander more, just because I like the playstyle more, but the numbers on this is definitely strong, so... Here, let me screenshot this, because I think someone said they had not seen a Devourer do... Alright, so that's all the tunes with the key for the week, so that is now officially knocked out. So I have a 10 for a myth track, 11, a couple of 12s. I did a 12 on the thing. Okay, yeah. So let's jump back on the mage now that it sounds like I've seen a lot of people saying that the hotfix went in, so. Hello, logging a mage. We'll probably do this for like another 30, 45-ish minutes. I'll skip on the mage tower again tonight. I'm just not feeling up for like the push of it all. I was gonna try to go longer than 4 hours. I'm just starting to get tired, so I don't know if I'm gonna go further than that, honestly. So. All right. All right. Let me download this add-on real quick. All right, so getting that installed. We are good. Reload. Let me see here. I always forget about the delay when I'm like looking at my Twitch page. That's how I'm seeing, like, making sure my scene is working since it's not in my effing Streamlabs for some reason. There we go. All right. Ends in 32 days. Alright, so I guess I just gotta see which one pops up next. Hello? Am I getting DC'd? I did. Hooray. What the heck? They've been doing maintenance like almost every day. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so that I hate, like, it's only this zone that happens, where I will like randomly die or like hit like the smallest of things, and all of a sudden I'm just falling to my death. All right, I have Salagram, so this will be Voice of the Eclipse. So is this like the rotation? I don't know if Zandy's still here or not, but dude, I'm on basically low settings, and I'm getting this type of frame rate, man. Like, I don't know what's been going on, but shit is not optimized right now. Zandy, are you here? Can you hear me? Are you still in stream? I don't know if you still are or not. I guess I'll find out if Voice of the Eclipse is next. Trying to see if this is like the order that they're supposed to spawn in. There we go. Alright, well, let's find out if this thing is the order or not. I don't know if it's gonna be that or not, so we'll see, I guess. So if this is correct, I just killed Salagrim, which means Voice of the Eclipse. Like, I'm gonna be a little bit before I get to one that I need, I guess. Checking in. Hey, Zandy, question. Is this the order that they're supposed to be coming through in? Because I literally logged in and then Salagrim the Observer was up, so I went and killed him. So is this like the order from top to bottom that it's supposed to go in and it just rotates through? So Red Eye, which I think I have, but you know, like I said, we'll kill anyways. Okay, cool. Now it's doing it. Awesome, 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 awesome. Still has them at 10-minute intervals though, so it's probably need to be updated still. Okay, we'll see if this is correct. Obviously, it should be only about 2 minutes before the next one's up instead of 10. Or 7, rather. Alright, so we got 2 minutes to kill here. Oh boy. The self-plug, I know I do this pretty much every stream, but the full Evoker Quick Guide series is now done and out officially as of today. Devastation, Augmentation, and Preservation Quick Guide videos are all out. Tomorrow will be a cooldown manager tip and trick. And then after that, it's going to be a series of shorts that I've got going out the rest through the weekend. Voice Play, my favorite acapella group, is going to be releasing their K-pop Demon Hunter medley on Friday, so I'll be recording that on Friday afternoon and probably set that for release Monday morning, because there's like an unwritten rule in the reaction content that if you're going to react to something, you generally speaking want to give the video 24 hours at the very least so that it can kind of gain momentum on its own before reactors start putting out videos to it and kind of undercutting the value of the video. And so, so what I'll do is I'll record on Friday when it releases, but I'm not going to release it until probably Monday, just because I've got content scheduled for Friday, Saturday, Sunday already. Okay, so this, if the 5 minutes is up, then we should be getting this in the next 15-20 seconds or so. And it was Voice of the Eclipse. Because it's always fucking Voice of the Eclipse, I swear to God. Okay, we got an upgrade though. These are plate boots. Yep, mail boots. Okay, well that'll go into the Warbound chest for any of the characters. Okay, so now we're waiting, hopefully, for... So I think what happens, sorry, I was muted. What was the question? Is this the order? So like it's gonna be like next one should be, we just killed Voice of the Eclipse. Red Eye just came up not too long ago. It's Tavahan the Unbound, the next one that's gonna come up, and then it'll be like Tavahan, Voice of the Eclipse, Ray, and then it just kind of does this, like bounces between Voice and the other ones, because like that's what it feels like. Like, is that how that timing works? Put it in chat form just in case he's got me muted again. Alright. Okay, so Red Eye just spawned, which means Sahavan should be coming up shortly then. But, like, does Voice of the Eclipse spawn in between each of the named rares? Because then really I'm still waiting 10 minutes. It's just like... Voice of the Eclipse is spawned when the summoned... I click the blue balls near summon the... Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we're going through the ones that I have, so basically I'm waiting like almost another hour before I get to any that I don't have. So it appears that these are still on 10-minute timers. Let me see if these are worth 20 or not, if that's been updated. Because if so, then that means everything is good, but... Okay, so they have been updated to be 20. That's good. So that's official at least. Don't care about cloak. Neck. Actually, let me just do something I can convert to tier. So I got chests. Let me grab legs. I have helm already too, so slowly getting to my level here. Alright, so I'll just work on this offline just because I think it's fair. I'm getting tired, and I know that I'm not super entertaining as it is already, so I'm gonna go ahead and see who I can rate out. Who's out there? If anyone has a name, let me know. Who's out playing WoW tonight? Not a lot. Let's see. What's Met up to? Okay, he's farming. You know, we'll just go raid Cherry. I haven't raided Cherry in a few days. Cherry's doing some Final Fantasy 14 in her downtime, so we're gonna go support her. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing more stuff. Plus, I've got that finish up that achievement run, and then I might actually do Mage Tower. I'll probably start a little bit later tomorrow. Like, I'm thinking maybe closer to like 5:30 or 6, and then I'll go a little bit later into the night just to see how that goes for me, and then we'll go from there. So everyone go say hi to Cherry. So if you guys will just copy paste this into her chat once we go over, I would appreciate it greatly. Go show Cherry some love. And I will see you all tomorrow.